Hello.
Hello,
Finally,
Mr. Pardeep Sanghera.
Mr.
Guys,
Ranbir
welcome,
Sanghera.
welcome.
Thank
Um,
you.
this is the Ranbir Sanghera Fat Loss and Strength Show and all kinds of other stuff. And today we got a special guest, none other than my cousin.
Uh,
Uh, and the reason we're going to talk about a whole bunch of different things. But the reason that I wanted him to come on was because, we're both artists, creatives, you know how it is. And I
artist,
always, what was that?
hashtag artist life.
Hashtag artist alive. And I just wanted, it's always interesting to me to hear other people's um, routines and how they come up with things and how they do their thing. So he's come out with a bunch of new songs and they're all lit, or as we like to say, litany. So first, why don't you give us a brief history of yourself?
All right. History, my history. Well, you already told my name, Pradeep Sanghera, and I am a software engineer. And on the side, I like to write music, write lyrics, and record music as well. I recently put out 2 music videos, and some more music is on the way.
That's what I'm talking about. And so, what year did you guys come out here? So well, we call him Pita, but um, what year did you guys come out here? Because you guys were in India for a
yeah,
while.
yeah. So I was born and raised in India. We came to the United States in 2006. So that's been 13. It'll be 13 years in October.
Nice.
Yeah,
13 years. That's interesting. So you were, how old were you when you came over here? Like
16.
16.
Yep.
So you got to spend a good chunk in India. What's like the biggest differences or things that you noticed from there and here?
Um, I think I had a lot of like just a cultural shock when I came here.
Yeah.
uh, Especially like traffic wise. Yeah, Bay Area has a lot of traffic, but at least it's somewhat managed compared to how it
Yeah.
is in
Oh
India.
yeah.
You know, nobody follows any rules, nothing.
Yeah.
So it's a lot better in terms of that, and especially in the area now I live in Chico, it's a lot less traffic.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, people follow the rules.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the big
They
difference. I
stay in
think.
the lanes
Yeah, they
for
stay
the
in
most
lane.
part.
Yeah, and big difference was education for me. India has their own way of teaching people, which is just remember everything.
Yeah.
Not, you don't learn anything. It's just like whatever your teacher gives you, you just gotta remember it.
Yeah.
You know, and you gotta write exactly the same thing on your final, or you won't get the full marks
Yeah.
for it. Here it's more about like understanding, learning, and it felt a lot easier,
Yeah.
you for me. And yeah, I ended up doing good. I was like okay student back in India, like get like 70%, but here I did,
And then out here, you
pretty-
killed it.
I killed it. I killed the
Yeah.
game. Yeah.
See, I don't even know. Where did you go to college?
So I went to college here out here in Chico. There's a college called Butte College.
Okay. Oh
Uh,
yeah.
yeah.
I know Butte
So
College.
yeah, so I went there for 2 years, and then I transferred to CSU Chico. That's where I did my bachelor's in computer science.
Nice. And so let me ask you, I know, like growing up, I remember you always kind of had a little bit of a knack to like sing and perform and all that. But like when you came out here, was that something? What were you doing? Because a lot of people don't know that you, like some guy on my Instagram, he was like, oh, I know that guy, blah blah blah, from the Vines days and shit like that. So, what? Tell me about that. I literally
Yes.
have no clue about all that.
So I don't know if you remember the app called Vine. It was like basically a 6 second. You make a 6 second video, and it loops over and over, and you basically create content within those 6 seconds. And back in towards the end of 2013, that's when it was kind of picking up, and a lot of our Punjabi people, Desi people, were doing videos on Vine as well. A lot of comedy stuff. So I thought like, why not give it a try too? Because just the nature of like how I grow up, our
Yeah,
family, it, like everybody's just
yeah.
like to joke and everything. So
Everybody's a jokester.
jokester. So I decided to do that and made my first Vine in December. And first few I made, like, it didn't get a lot of attraction from people. And then finally, another famous Punjabi Viner. Uh, revined my video, and that ended up going viral, and then more people started following me, and then I started making more content for next like few years until the Vine app got shut down, because Twitter wasn't making money off
Rest,
of it. uh,
rest in peace.
yeah, but through that process, I made a lot of connections, because all these people are creative people that were on Vine, and we used to support each other. And even with the music stuff that I'm doing it with three other people, and we're sitting in all three different corners, four different corners of the world. One of my partner, Paul, he's in Seattle. One of my partner is in Toronto, Jazz, and then Amin, who's our music producer, he's sitting in England.
Yeah.
And we just came together. We were like, okay, this thing is shutting down. We got talent. Let's try to make something out of this. So, so that's how we kind of came about, like started making music. Our first one was called Bapu Sarda Kenda. That was like very comedic
Yeah.
video we made back in 2016.
FYI, for those of us who don't speak Punjabi, Bapu Sarda Kenda.
Oh yeah.
You want to give the translation for that?
Bapu Sarda Kenda, basically my father says. I
Yep.
guess like that's roughly what
Yep.
my father would say, something like that. I guess is that
Yep.
is that good enough? Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah. So it was just a video. I I was in Australia at the time, and me and one of the viners I met in Australia during my trip, we just made a bully. It's like basically, how would you say bully in English? How would you explain that?
Uh, I guess it would be. It's like
It's like a verse in a song, right?
yeah, like just
But
like
like,
a line or two of like a song that it's more of a song that like when you get together people sing, not
yeah.
necessarily it's not necessarily like a song on the radio. I mean it can be, but it's like a couple lines from like songs that everybody kind of knows and sings.
Right, exactly. So we were at the bridge in Brisbane, and we saw these girls uh, taking a selfie on the bridge, and we just came up with a bully, like kade ha karke, kade hoon karke, selfie khech la ni mutiare lammi baan karke. It was just, it was just basically about them taking a selfie, right?
Yep.
And it went viral. People started sending us videos of them singing that bully at their weddings, you know, and then a lot of singers ended up using it in their songs. Copyright issues, they didn't care. We
Yeah.
tried to report it. So we were like, okay, let's make a song around that. So we just wrote more bolinga, more verses, and made a song, and then we went up to Canada, Surrey, and that's where we shot the music video for it. It took us about 2.5 days
Yeah.
to shoot that, 15 hours every day.
Artist life. A lot of people don't know, man. Like these people, they're like, oh, it must be so easy and nice.
No,
Hey, they don't know what it's like to be on set
no,
15, 16 hours.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
One of the scenes in that music video, it's inside a barber shop or salon, and uh, I think that scene is probably about 5-6 seconds long,
Yep.
and it took us 2.5 hours to set up the
Yep.
lighting.
Exactly.
because something it just didn't come out right. So
Nope.
we constantly like, okay, no, we need to make this change. We need to make this change. We need more lighting here. Yeah, but it was about 6 seconds long,
Yeah.
probably less than that.
Dude, no, I always say like, so, I'll shoot a commercial and, commercial will be, 30 seconds long, and
Right.
we spend, so, depending on the shoot, it's obviously a day, but sometimes like there's multiple days of shoots
Yep.
for a 30-second commercial. So it's like a lot of work goes into that.
Yep.
And the crew, the lighting crew, the sound crew, like they're doing so much work. So shout out to all
Yeah.
the lighting crews, the sound crews, like set, makeup, wardrobe, like they're doing tons of work. So
Definitely. And when you're on a low budget, then all those people are just you.
one guy,
So shout out to me.
one guy.
Yeah. No, it's
Yeah.
fun though. It's fun. One of the things I love about shoot is it's so much different than the normal job that we do. 9 to 5, and
Yeah.
you enjoy it so much. You don't get tired. You don't feel tired until you actually come home and sit
And
down.
yep.
That's when you feel like, okay, I am tired. But
Yeah.
during the whole time you're there, 10 hours, 12 hours, 15 hours, you do not feel tired. At
No.
least that's how it's for me.
Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely feel that. So like, I've been on like huge sets and done like, so the show and then like commercials, and on those it's like there's literally, so I mean, you guys were doing everything. Like we literally have nothing to do other than
Yeah.
we're acting. Like, so all
Yeah.
they need us for is the whatever couple of takes that we're doing, and then we're just
Right.
chilling.
Yeah. Right.
It's definitely, but it's a lot of fun. It's definitely interesting,
It's really
but
fun.
it's totally not what people kind of think
No, no,
it
not
is.
at all. No,
you
not
know,
at all. Especially in music videos, I assume like I don't know how the commercials work. Usually you'll get the whole story and everything at a time, and you know what's gonna happen. But in the music videos, a lot of the people sometimes don't know like what the whole story is
that
gonna
is,
be.
yeah,
Everybody just know their bits and pieces,
yep.
and they just stare at everybody else like, how's this gonna come together? What's happening here? It's
Yeah,
like, no, trust me. We drew, we storyboarded, we wrote the
yeah.
story. We know how it's gonna come together. Just play your part.
There's a plan. Just stay focused. Yeah. Well, that's dope. So like, as far as like you have people all over the place that are like working on these projects. It's like I always I had a we have friends all over the world as well, like either in acting or like in the health and fitness, strength and conditioning, nutrition. Like it's uh it's a beautiful thing. I had my buddy from Jared Hamilton. He's from, damn, I want to say he's from Ohio. But anyway, so it's like
Uh-huh.
it's crazy because we have connections with all these people from all over the world,
Yeah.
and it's all because of the internet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's one thing my dad will always say is like, uh, "Dunia choti hoyi hai,"
It
meaning
is. It
the
is.
world getting smaller and smaller. So
Yeah, with the internet, it definitely has. Like we launch our music videos, and we're talking to labels that are in India, and it's all like all the talks are happening via phone calls or WhatsApp. And we're just making decisions like, hey, we need some Google AdWords on this, so let's find somebody who promotes and does that
yeah,
sort of work. We just find phone numbers or social media contact via Instagram and just hit them up like, hey, this is what we need. What can you do for us? And it happens. You never have to meet that person in your
yeah.
life. You just do it through WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, whatnot.
That's the crazy part is like, you haven't met a lot of these people, and then but you're like some of my best friends, I've never met them.
Right.
Luckily, I actually have met a lot of them, but you meet them for the first time in person, and it's
Right.
like you've known each other for
Forever.
30 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was that what it was like when you started to meet up with like all the Viners and stuff?
Yeah, exactly. That's how it was. One of the two of the guys, they're brothers. They actually lived in Corning, which is about 20 minutes from Chico, and we've been, revining each other's vines for a year and a half, 2 years now, and we didn't know that we lived only 20 minutes apart, right? And then he sent me one of the older ones sent me a friend request on Facebook, and then he asked me like, "Oh, did you go to Chico State?" I was like, "Yeah, and I also live there." He's like, "I live in Corning." I was like, "Dude, let's meet up." And then
Yeah,
next weekend we were barbecuing, and like now we're best friends.
yeah.
We're best friends. It's
That's
amazing.
no, that's dope, man. That's what I like to. It's like a lot of when it comes to the stuff we do at the gym or things like I do in
Right.
acting or focus on. It's like I try to focus on the positive and like the things that make you feel good because a lot of people they're just focused on like oh social media is bad blah blah
Yeah.
blah. It's like you whatever you think it is like you get
Yeah.
what you focus on.
It's all in your head,
Yeah.
really. Whatever you make of it, it's gonna become that. You know.
So let me ask you this:
Uh-huh.
what do you remember? What was your line?
Yeah, I actually do. Uh, it was at the time. Uh, they had the kabaddi tournament going on in India. That was like the World
The
Cup of
World Cup.
kabaddi.
Yep.
Yeah, so it just recently started, and Badal, that was like the chief minister of Punjab at the time, and Bhagwantaman, who's one of the biggest comedians out of Punjab, was the commentator for those matches, and he every like 30 seconds later he would just say Badal's name, just sucking up to him so much. Even though like a couple years later we all know what happened politically, he went into politics and was against Badal and whatnot. But at the
Yeah.
time, he was just sucking up to him so much. So I just basically made a vine saying like, "Oh, Bhagwan, taman at the World Cup be like badal 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 badal." That's
That's
basically what he
hilarious.
was saying, literally. It's like, dude, talk about something else. Talk about the players. No,
Yeah.
yeah,
Talk about the kabaddi match. Yeah.
like
Oh,
nah.
and also kabaddi. For anybody who doesn't know what it is, it's an Indian it's an Indian wrestling type of wrestling where well we won't get too far into it, but I'll link some videos of what kabaddi is.
I think you should post it on your Instagram. So
I am going to
yeah.
post it for sure on the Instagram for sure. Did you ever play kabaddi?
No, I tried once or twice. I'm like, it's not for me.
Yeah. Why not? Why didn't you keep
I
on?
think I played it with all of our cousins, like Mana and
Yeah.
everybody, and Dad, and they were just like, I was a little kid
They
at
were
the
way
time,
bigger.
and they were just way too aggressive
Yeah.
on me.
Slapping it.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, screw this. It's not for me.
Yeah.
But I did play a lot of cricket growing up in India, a lot of soccer because my dad, he
Yeah.
was a soccer player. So played a lot of soccer and cricket. And when I came here, I played soccer, but got injured the day before our first game of the season, and there went my whole season.
Soccer.
And then
Yeah.
yeah, so then I started playing volleyball. I played volleyball for like about 2.5 years here in high school.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's dope. Yeah, kabaddi's a little crazy.
Yeah.
My main thing was like, I'm like, don't fucking slap me. Don't touch my face. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, when
that's
you tell them, they're definitely gonna do
yeah.
that.
So I never played to begin with, so it's all good.
Yeah.
Um, but what is? Well, actually, I got two questions. First question, we'll stick with the Vine. What was the most, or what was your most favorite Vine that you made?
Oh, my favorite fine. Um, I think it has to be when I went to In and Out one day. I had my buddy with me, and the person standing there asked like, "Hey, what would you like to order?" And I said basically like all the Punjabi menu stuff. I said, "Can I get some dal with the roti?" Like it was just I just yelled at her basically, and that that
Dude,
just went everywhere.
I gotta find that. That's still somewhere, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely is.
Yeah, you gotta send that to me.
I'll find it. I'll send it to you.
That's hilarious. Two of my favorite things, In and Out and Dal. So I gotta find
That's
that.
something. I just yelled at her like in a weird comedic voice, and yeah,
She's probably like, "What the hell is going on?" Um.
yeah.
What is your so when you're sitting down to write a song,
Hmm.
what's your process? Do you have a process? Is it different every time? Is there some things that you have to have? Is it
Yep.
uh what does that process look like?
Yeah. So there's like a couple process I have. One I definitely use all the time. That is, I I like to sit in my room with no lights on, or I got these one party lights. They change colors.
Like
So,
like for
y- yeah,
like different colors like blue, green, red and
yeah,
stuff?
they change, and yeah. So either I turn them on or I just turn the no lights on, and I sit in front of my laptop. I search for some type of beat that I'm feeling. Like, hey, I'm looking for some sort of hip hop 90s style beat. I'll just find anything just to get me
Yeah.
in the groove, and I'll play it. I'll play it over and over. Just listen to it with my eyes closed until like some words start to come in my head,
Yeah.
and then I'll start like start saying them out loud. And then once I like have like at least one or two line, I start writing them down, and then I keep the beat playing on a loop, and then I just keep on writing whatever comes into my mind. Like I just write. That's kind of like the process that works really
There
well
you
for
go.
me.
That's
Yeah, and
really
then
interesting. And so do you make it a point like on a schedule like, hey, I'm going to do sometime like
yeah,
30 minutes every day when inspiration hits? Like what's your like how often do you show up to do that?
I have actually well, one, I do have a reminder set up every 2 weeks that just sends me a notification say, hey, write a new song.
Yeah.
And another is just, you know, it's part of my other process, which is just like as I'm like driving or walking somewhere or doing something, some lines come to me. I just stop doing whatever I'm doing and I quickly pull up Evernote on my phone and I just write
Write it
write it
out.
out and go from
Yeah.
there. Like yesterday, I was driving to get some groceries. Not groceries. I was going to get some food. And then in the middle of like a couple of lines came to me, and they were really good lines, and I didn't want to forget about them. So I just parked the
Yeah.
car on the side of the road, and I started writing right there. I think I
Yeah.
parked the car for like good 15-20 minutes, and I wrote one verse, and then I was like, all right, let's go get food now. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's dope. That's kind of I mean, so like when we create content for for the gym and for health and fitness, well, I do the same thing, dude.
Right.
Like I'll text myself, I'll do a voice recording
Yep.
cuz you're right. Like I think part of the thing you set that time aside like okay,
I think you're cutting off a lot.
the second thing is always ready cuz you never know what's going to trigger a line topic or like somebody says something and it's like really good and whatever it might be. And we are back.
All right.
Can you hear me? All right. So basically, what I was saying while we were figuring out, or while our IT department was getting everything checked up, I was just saying that the reason that one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about was like how you come up with your stuff and what's your creative process look like,
Right.
because it's really interesting to me, and I feel that so many people have some type of creative thing that they want to do, and I think anything can be creative,
Mm-hmm.
including business and other things like,
Oh,
and they come up with all these reasons why they can't or shouldn't,
mm-hmm.
and when in reality it's like they were just overcomplicating things. It's like you can make time for it. There's no reason why not. Like
Right.
you're doing your engineering and you have this creative outlet. Like there's literally no reason for somebody not to do it. You know what I mean?
No,
And
I
so
agree. Yeah, I have like so many songs written down that at the time, like something came to me, like three, four lines, and I wrote them, and I haven't been able to finish them, but at least I wrote them,
yep,
and I'll come back to them. So if some sort of idea comes to you, just write it. If you can see it, you'll be able to build on top of it. You
yep,
know, yeah. If you don't write it, you're gonna forget about it. That never happens.
yeah.
You know, but this way, at least everything is on record, and like you can go back to it. Like, okay, let me rethink about this one. You know.
Yeah, 100%. And there's really like no reason to not do that. I know sometimes like one of the things is like we're afraid to share things. I don't know if you ever had that thought, like, oh, you're either self-conscious or like you don't want to be putting yourself out there. Obviously, I don't think you did. I don't know. You can tell me.
No, I don't think I've ever been that way. That's why I was able to just start making vines too. It was just my own kind
It's
of
your
decision.
personality, yeah.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, I should do this. And my wife at the time, girlfriend, like she's like, yeah, you should do it. You're a funny guy. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. So I did it, and here I am. But she definitely tells me that one thing though, that before all that, like before people recognized me and everything, before I started doing vines, uh, I lacked a little bit of self confidence. And
Yeah,
then as soon as I started doing this, I started getting feedback from people, which was positive. That made me more confident, and that made me
yeah,
more creative. You know,
yeah.
so
And
definitely
that's
share
an
with
interesting.
people.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting thing because you know reason not to do stuff that you feel like doing.
Right.
I was the complete opposite. In fact, like I still sometimes like actually, you know what? Like with as much practice as I've gotten, like I've been acting for 10 years now, almost. I think
Right.
11 maybe. But like, man, I remember even my very first class,
Hmm.
I was trembling, and it was like, and for a long time, I would walk into audition rooms, and it would just be like, I would get super self conscious. There's so much material that I've created
Yeah.
that is like on my laptop or in Evernote or wherever
Right.
that I've never shared because I was self conscious.
Right.
But you know what? Like again, just another thing to like, if you want to do something, just show up and do it,
Yeah.
and keep moving forward, because despite those thoughts I kept making stuff and I kept going to auditions,
Right.
and you do develop, like anything you do you get better at. So
Right. Exactly. It comes with practice. You're you're not gonna become master of whatever you're doing, whatever you want to do overnight. So it takes practice. Just keep doing it. Keep failing. Keep trying. That's how it is.
yeah,
We've been doing music for a while now. 3 years.
yeah.
It's
and
just, yeah. You got to put effort into. You got to put
you,
time.
and you guys are just getting like warmed up. I mean,
Yeah.
it does take time to develop those skills, as with anything, like you
Right.
said.
Yeah.
So
You learn a lot. You learn a lot. The first video we did, we spent a lot of money making that music video, and then we learned we didn't need to do that.
yeah,
It's Punjabi market isn't that big of a market for you to spend that much of money, especially if you're starting. Uh, you know, so there's like a lot of things we learned through, and we're still learning. We're still
yep,
learning every with every project.
yep. And yeah, I mean, all that stuff, it just goes back to the same things. Like, we come up with reasons not to do stuff when, in like, for example, oh, you need to spend this much money to create this, whole production. But in reality, it's like that could be a thought that stops somebody. It's like, oh, I don't have the money to do that.
Yeah.
When in reality, like, you don't need that.
No, a lot of people, like, one of the people think like, oh, I'm gonna need this big camera to make this music video, and we've done it, and we learned that there's no need for it.
Yeah,
You can rent like a really nice camera for $100 for 7 days on all these websites that are available to you, and just have somebody who knows a little bit of the camera and just have them run it.
you're good to go.
You're good to go. If you're just starting out, just start with
Yeah.
something
Well,
basic.
even like you can use your iPhone, and it's like, I
Yeah.
remember. So we made a movie in junior year of high school with a
Right.
camcorder, and it was like struggle city,
Yeah.
because back in those days, this is 2005.
Oh
So
wow.
like, it wasn't as easy, and now, like, there's a pocket
Right.
that's more powerful than the most expensive stuff back in the day.
Right. And we actually made a music video for somebody. It was some singer from India. He wanted to make a music video, and we were like, "Hey, let's make it where it it looks like it's a you documented something, So it's all on the iPhone, and it was basically the song was about like his
Oh,
journey
we're
back.
having technical difficulties again. Hello?
Can you hear
You
me?
still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You still there?
Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're having some more technical difficulties. Uh,
Hello.
all right. Now you cut off when you were saying you made a music video
Yeah.
for somebody.
Yeah, so the song was about like his journey going back to India because he lived in England for so long, and so we're like, why not just create a documentary type for, and we
Yeah.
recorded it on iPhone,
Damn.
but they didn't like the product came out really nice. We made a look like the Snapchat effect.
Yeah.
You were documenting everything on a Snapchat chat, but it was all done in post production, to make it look like Snapchat, little tiny
Yeah.
circle on top, whatnot. But they didn't like it. They were like, no, we're gonna do it on a proper camera, whatnot. And 2 years later, now I'm seeing Gary Sandhu, who's one of the biggest artists in Punjab, doing music videos on iPhones. Some
Yeah.
other artists doing music videos. It, it's that's why I try to tell people do not buy into this whole thing like, oh, you have to have the top notch camera.
Nope.
You don't need it. You can rent like a Sony A6500 and you're golden. My first
Yeah.
video was shot with the Bella Gana that was
Yeah.
launched in December. That was done using 6500. So
Yeah.
basic camera.
And that idea just goes with everything too. Is like, for working out and stuff.
Yeah.
Just because I know some people are gonna want to hear about working out, but it's the same thing. It's like, people say, "Oh, I need this gear or I need these supplements." Like, nah, you don't. You actually can do a lot with pretty much nothing.
Right.
So that's dope.
Yep.
What's what do you what else is coming up? Like, what are you guys doing next?
So I was supposed to go record yesterday, but got a little sick this past weekend. But I'm gonna go back and record this next song called Gel Mood. That's what we're calling it.
Jen the mood.
Gel Mood. It got the chill vibe to it, so it's gonna be
There
really
you
nice
go.
song. I've already recorded it twice, but we're just trying to get that chill vibe in it.
Vibe.
You
You got to
know,
get it right. You
you
got to get
gotta
the
get
chill
it.
vibe.
Yeah. So I gotta re-record it this week. To Saturday. Yesterday I didn't want to go because my voice is coming out
Yeah.
nasal, and it just wasn't. It wasn't gonna sound good.
Yeah.
So we got that. We're gonna make a video for that one, and I'm going to record another song that basically came to me So here's another creative process idea. Uh, I came up with the song, started writing. It was basically like I started comparing this guy, like in this age now, to the actors from Punjabi actors from the '90s movies. All the like gangster types. Uh, so
Like what's his name?
Yograj Singh, Gugu,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
those guys. So I was like, what if we write a song like somebody who feels like, oh, I'm one of those guys,
Yep.
But the way that idea came to me was it was through Snap Instagram filter, one of those filters that make your video look like shot in back in '70s.
Yep.
Yeah, so I saw that, like I was just going through filters and I saw that I was like, okay, film purani, which means old movie, like, and then like I titled that song film purani, but I think we're gonna change it to something else. But that's how I started, and then I started writing that song. I'm like 70% done writing that.
That's dope. That's interesting. Like sometimes you go specifically to write something
Right.
based off a beat. Other times it comes up while you're just driving around.
Yep.
And then other times it's like something that may not be related at all to a song or singing triggers that idea, which like of the video, what it would look like,
Right.
or it reminds you of the movies from back in the day, and then that you're like, oh, a song about that would
Yeah.
be dope.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yep. Yeah. Everything. I feel like everything around you has some sort of inspiration, some sort of creative vibe that it can give off, and you just gotta be there at the right time, right place,
And be open to it,
be open to it.
basically.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope, man. All right. So first of all, before actually we're gonna wrap up in a couple minutes, but uh, I wanted everybody to know this is the official announcement that Samosea Samosea Kimewa Samosea is also coming out. All right, we're you don't know about this yet, but we're collaborating on it,
Yep.
so everybody should look out for that. All right.
We're gonna make a badass video for that one. Get some hoppers in the back. Train tracks. Yeah.
It's gonna be a hit.
It's
And
gonna be
anybody who doesn't know what a kime wala samosa is, it's a samosa. Everybody knows what a samosa is, but it has ground meat in it. So
Yep.
there you go.
Yeah, we're gonna be like flipping samosas in the back of the video. Yeah. And Ron's gonna be rapping.
I thought the vibe that I got from it was like it's more of a sad song.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right, we could do that too.
Something like maybe like a Harpajan Man song, like a sad Harpajan Man song. That's kind of what I was feeling off of that.
So basically, like the girl and you are fighting because you didn't make the keema samosa right. Like you're in the kitchen, she's mad at you, like that.
Exactly.
I got
I'm
too much salt in it.
always messing up the samosa, bro.
Why you gotta do that, bro?
I
did the dumbest thing today before I came to this podcast. I don't know why I did it. We're sitting at two different locations, and this podcast is being recorded remotely. And when you said like, "Hey, here's a link, come join me on this podcast," I went and put a lotion on arms, thinking that I want to smell good on the podcast.
Hey, look! You gotta look good, smell good, feel good.
There you go. I don't know why.
Dude, it has to be the complete thing. So like, that's funny because on a lot of like, or depending on the shoot, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, we don't need you. Like, you can wear whatever pants you want or shoes. Like, we're not gonna see it." And I'm always like, "No, like I have to wear the right pants. I'm not gonna wear like sweats just because you can't see them.
Right?
You gotta have
exactly. Yeah. Even though you can't smell that lotion now, I smell it. I feel good.
Exactly. We got the full vibe. Otherwise, I would have like everybody would have known something's off.
Something's up. Something's smelly.
So yeah, like we can't have any ashiness. That's very important. You can hear that through the podcast.
through the podcast. Yep.
So first of all, where can people find you? We'll put links in the stuff. I don't know. We'll put the link somewhere.
And they can comment below, right?
They can comment below, above. They can like just say like what the hell. They
Yep.
can do whatever they want.
Right.
But where should they go?
So you can find me on Instagram at Hey Pradeep. So HeyPardeep. That's double E's. DEEP.
There you
Hey
go.
Pradeep. So that's my Instagram. Go find me there.
What about the AIM account?
the
Uh,
Hotmail,
the Hotmail.
the AOL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. So we'll link that somewhere. I don't know. Somebody will link that. And then they can comment. Blah blah blah. Looking forward to the new song. This was dope.
Thank you.
Maybe we'll do another one. We'll do something else.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be down. I love this.
A release party for the Kimbe Wale Samosea song.
There you go. That's what we'll do. Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful night, and we'll see you guys here next time.
Bye.
Later.